Welcome to Rock Talk with Jacqui Neal. I got the opportunity to speak with the legendary Mick Mars, former lead guitarist and co-founder of Motley Crue, about his debut solo album, The Other Side of Mars. Now it's available all major streaming platforms, signed and unsigned vinyl and CD copies available at mickmarsofficial.com. The latest single, The Right Side of Wrong. This album is absolutely incredible, and there's some things about Mick that may surprise you.
Hi, Jackie.
Hey, Mick, thank you so much for taking time with us today. And I will intro outside of our interview so we'll have more time so we can just jump in and talk about the album. Is that cool?
Sure.
Awesome. And of course, we're talking about The Other Side of Mars debut solo album. And Mick, I love it. From the latest single, Right Side of Wrong, I have to say probably one of my favorites is Broken on the Inside and L.A. Noir. Love that bluesy rhythm.
Thank you. Thank you.
What do you love about it? And what is your favorite track on the album?
All the songs I'm really, proud of course. Undone and Killing Breed are probably more the direction that I'm going to be heading.
Okay.
I'm of course I'm going to have, the massive anthemy big bashers like Loyal to the Lie and that kind of stuff. But that, I want to lean more toward that Undone, Killing Breed, more cinematic kind of a thing, just because it's big and mean.
Well, and I love that, because you present the themes of light and darkness and pain and intense anguish and a quest for justice. But that's something that so many of us can relate to, maybe on different levels. But I think it's such a universal theme in our broken world.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You had Paul Taylor, a big contributor, keyboardist, and then helped you co-write a lot of the songs. And let's talk about Michael Wagner. And of course, y'all met through Don Dokken even before he produced Too Fast for Love. He came out of retirement to produce this. Did I read that correctly?
Yes. Yeah. I was the last album that he did. The first with Motley and my last. Yeah, he went full circle with me.
And I read you started actually working on this album in 2019, and you've had the tracks for a while.
That came up. And then some of the songs that we'd done prior were like, nope, they didn't make it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, I had to add to it. And he finally got the retire after we got all the songs down.
I love the unique musical chemistry that you and Ray Luzier, of course, from Korn on drums. Good Lord, man. Wow.
I know. Yeah, I know. Chris Collier and Ray together are just like, I want to step back into the 70s when there was great rhythm sections with Cream, with Ginger Baker and God, those guys, John Paul Jones and just that whole rhythm section behind. There's no real rhythm guitars on those 3-piece bands, because the rhythm section was so solid and good. Chris and Ray, they're like that,
Well, and I think I read that you have said you wished that you had come into your musical success in the 70s, that you felt like you just kind of missed out on that decade.
I sure did. I sure did. That was a pretty rough time for me. But it's okay. I came out of it, Well, and also, it inspires stuff too,
Well, and that's it. You are one of those artists that have used the intense pain in your life, circumstantially, physically, mentally, like so many great artists. It makes me think of Frida and Van Gogh, that, those beautiful, intense colors came out of their intense pain. And you're the same. Yeah. You're the same. This intense, beautiful music comes out of this just intense anguish and pain. And I've always watched you, and it's just spoken to me so many times in my life, you getting up there and doing it and knowing that it's one of the hardest things that you do.
Thank you for that. But yes, that's how I think, it's and I'm glad that you say colors, because that's how I talk. And, when I describe a song, it's I step back and look at the picture before, advancing. Go like, am I going the right direction with this? No, there's a blotch, or it's perfect. That kind of a thing is like, yeah, that's how I view stuff too.
Well, and John Corabi said, of course, you have many influences, but specifically the late legendary Jeff Beck. And he said, like Beck, it's your tone that is so amazing and your scientific approach to sound.
Yeah, that's important to me as well. Really, really important to me.
Well, and what some people may not know about you is it's not just all a dark, brooding side, but I did read that you used to clown around a lot and that you have a very funny sense of humor.
Well, I do have a sense of humor for sure, but yeah, people think I was the class clown, so that kind of stuff. But I mean, I would do weird stuff, like it would be like very looked down upon now, but I would capture these little HBs. They don't have a stinger or anything. And I would tie a little string around their leg and put a little piece of paper that said Goodyear and let it go in class. So it was like this bee flying around with a Goodyear sign. So I don't know. I do weird stuff like that.
Well, and I think with you, though, from one class clown to another, that maybe came out of pain and just feeling out of place, maybe your whole life. And I can relate to that and so many others. And, you've said that you always try to keep growing and learning new things and keep moving and creating, kind of like the Birds song you said, a time to reap and a time to sow.
Yeah, exactly right. That's how I think, yeah.
Mick, I know we just have like a minute left, but you've also said that you always have a clear vision of what you want to do, and it might gain some fans, it might lose some, but what they're hearing is all you.
Yes, that's correct. That's what comes out of my brain. That's what's, been rolling around and still is rolling around in my head. I mean, as I put out, another record like the one that I have in the fire now, you'll see like it's progressed to like another level, and I like to keep myself doing that, reinventing me,
Absolutely. I just want to ask you, you have never let the obstacles, be it your physical pain and things like that, get you stuck. Now, I know you've gotten stuck a couple of times in your life. What would you say to someone who their pain, it just seems insurmountable and they just don't think they can get above it or around it or through it?
Actually, in real, I mean, there are some, it's absolutely, that way. But like with what I have, ankylosing spondylitis, and the doctor tells me I'm going to be in a wheelchair at 25, I went, no, I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like sometimes, how do doctors make their money?
Yeah.
By keeping you sick, by telling you this or doing that, and it's like, not to be mean to doctors because they help too, but, it's like they don't make any money without patients.
Yeah.
So, that's kind of my feeling about it. There's, absolutely, there's, people that get like so badly, like, let's say like Stephen Hawkins and those, of course, AS is something you got to fight through for sure.
And you are a fighter. I know people are waiting to talk to you. I have so many more questions, but Mick, thank you so much. The Other Side of Mars, available now. Thank you so much for taking time. I really enjoyed our talk.
Okay, thanks, Jacqui.
Thank you, Mick. Thank you so much for tuning in to Rock Talk with Jacqui Neal. I want to thank Michael Neal providing the intro and outro music from Deep Well Sound. Be sure and like, subscribe, and leave us a review.